Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
Mars!
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Grimstroke.
Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Mirana. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
You know, satisfied with some of the elements from last game and just want to switch things up a bit. I wonder why they're phasing out the IO here. They could have picked IO, banned Kunkka, and, you know, gone about the game in that way. Or even banned the Mirana as well if they're worried about the Sand King Mirana combination. But yeah, again, boom, they're just going to ban Visage Furion as the first two. And I imagine they would do that in game 3 as well, but we're not going to get one because these are 2-game series, but I think that's just their like go-to bans against this team, at least for now. Things are definitely going to be changing up here quite a bit now, though. Without the Kunkka, I think the dynamic of the game will be very different, almost no matter what hero they pick. But I will say Boom in general as a team seems to favor the style that I was talking about last game, like having heroes that can skirmish together. Seems to be a lot of their identity. They love picking stuns, they love picking burst, and they love picking combos. So I guess if you're Bet Boom, you might want to think about that a little bit. They're just kind of banning, you know, some trademark Boom heroes here. Both the Ember for Yopaj as well as the Kunkka is out. And now you have the Medusa ban against Jack as well. Yeah, and I want to say we're in for quite a different game here, almost no matter what happens. But I think Boom will aim to play the same like style of Dota.
Do you think that how popular is Shadow Demon these days? I'm looking for like a potential save to whatever this arrow ends up being paired with, right? Because I feel like more times than not, there's something that sets up the arrow.
SD could be pretty good this game for BetBoom because it's... I like that pick a lot more when it has multiple purpose. When it's not just defensive disruption, but the offensive one has a combo. Like you said, it's good with the Mirana. This time they're going to grab the DP that they banned last game, Boom. One of their trademark heroes were rating this higher than, I want to say, almost any team in the world, even though every team was like rating it really high. But after the nerf, they have bumped it down a
Your
little
favorite hero!
I love myself some Pugna. I'm going to grab CK again. Good game for Netherward. A lot of spell damage that you can mitigate with that. Pretty high mana costs on Death Prophet. It's a good counter against Sand King wanting to Epi Blink. He can obviously choose to, you know, cancel the cast if he sees he's in trouble now that Epicenter is just... You don't spend the mana until you finish the channel. So if you start channeling, you're like, oh, wait, I'm under Netherward, you can choose to stop it. But effectively, it's still zoning you out from using that ult, right? So it has some pretty good uses here. As far as Decrep offensively goes, not the best pairings, right? You don't really want to Decrep for Mars. You don't really want to Decrep for CK. But together with Mirana, you do have some play potential with burst damage of spells. I think it's more for the ward than anything.
All right, the NA Classic.
Coming out from NA Team Boom.
I can't look at Terrorblade and not think of Arteezy.
Yeah,
I just pick literally every game. And
yeah, they've loved that hero for a long time.
So yeah, this is your very high armor agility gain carry, which obviously I would think is good against CK. I mean, how is it? Is it good against CK when he has that many illusions?
Yeah, it's very good against CK. You have super high armor. That's the big deal, right? Last game they had the Bloodseeker with the high armor. This game they have the Terrorblade. You want carries, if you do end up in these fights against Chaos Knight where the carries are hitting each other, if you have a carry with high armor, you're generally going to be able to outlast long enough that either the Phantasm Illusions die or you kill some other key hero so that you can snowball the fight from there. So I think it's a very stable pick here. Pugna theoretically is a bad matchup for Terrorblade, but in a support position, I think it's largely irrelevant. Then you're only really fighting against the defensive Decrepify, not the offensive, I'm going to decrypt Dig and life drain you and just kill you because you have no health.
Right.
Historically speaking, that has actually been a counter pick out of the mid lane, but I don't know if BetBoom would run it there. They could.
I mean, being able to
Larl.
life drain illusions as well. I mean, this change was like a year and a half ago, but 7-second cooldown by default. You don't really need Ags or anything like that to take out these illusions.
But I'm not sure if they feel comfortable putting Pugna in a 2 role when it doesn't have the best offensive pairings like we talked about, right? I think if you put Pugna 2, you want to build the strategy around either some sort of push timing with the early levels in Nether Blast, or you want heroes that can combine with Pugna offensively to kill.
What do you briefly talked about the Decrep defensively this game, but let's go more in depth. Like, how good is it? Like the right click against meta, or against, well, yeah, sure, meta, but I mean, we can call him meta. Metamorphosis is the hero. You don't even need to call him Terrorblade. And then Exorcism, that's the physical damage. But they still have a lot of magical damage, so it's not like it's a clear save at all.
Definitely not a guaranteed save, but a lot of the time the way fights break out from Boom's lineup is that the Sand King and Grimstroke will initiate, and then the cavalry comes in. So then you've already blocked out those spells because they've happened. And then you can feel good about casting Decrep after, right? But yeah, it's not clean, especially not if Epicenter is still a threat afterwards in the fight. That just kills you if you're Decrept. It is so much damage. So you got to be a little bit careful. But yeah, it's I still think there's a lot of play potential.
You're assuming position 4 DP, right? Because it's
could be
likely. I mean, got nerfed so heavily. Is that? I mean, actually, that's a good question. The nerf to DP, is that more? Like, who does it affect more, the supports or the cores?
I would say it affects the support more,
because
actually.
the Exorcism just kills the tower by itself in the last
Right,
patch.
so what the supports would do, they would get level 6, and then they would go to a tower cast Exo, and if they got ganked for it, okay, so be it. If they didn't, they got a full tower. If you're a core, you're building DP a lot more for the team fighting aspect of it, dealing damage to specific enemy matchups. So I do think it affects the core less, but it's just a huge nerf in general, right? It was a big part of the hero. In this game, DP core, I will generally look for how good is Spirit Siphon, right? Because whether you play a support or core, you will always have both Spirit Siphon and the ult, but the Siphon is more reliable when you have items. Then you can stay in the fight reliably and get them off. It's good against Mars and CK, I would say pretty good at least. Leshrac, maybe not so much. So you have the choice here of considering a different path and maybe... I was going to say find a better matchup against Lesh, but there's like no hero that destroys Lesh in lane, right? There's no like obvious gotcha here. Nyx looks funny as a 4. but then
Next
you
could be
have
good.
weird lanes, I think.
All right.
We're going to grab Tusk.
So it will be a core DP in all likelihood. I mean, we've also seen
Could be
mid
core Tusk.
sanking in the past, so
Could also be mid Tusk. It is.
it is a mid. Okay.
Yopaj
Hell
Tusk.
yeah.
This is going to be good.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for this. Yeah, they will play a 5
So
DP.
how does this hero work in?
Prepare for battle.
To people from Arrow.
Are we going to see another 5v5 fight? Smoke is broken. They have the vision, but Daxak is on the other side of the cliff because of the nice ice shards. Yopaj getting extremely low, though, so doesn't look like Boom want to engage any further. They will get the deny on their own ward, it seems.
Slowly but steadily.
Yep, slowly. And BetBoom want to try to contest this, and they're going to do so in spades. Skem getting extremely low. FBZ, Burrow Strike onto 2 with a level 1 spell. That is actually very difficult to do. He's going to get Split Earth, but BetBoom end up getting the first blood this time around. It's going to be a trade for Jack. Oh, Jackie, I should say. It's a 2-for-1 in the end as Mars goes down third, but very nice fight from BetBoom. They only lose their offlaner. They get the first blood this time around, and they end up getting that ward as well.
These teams just love going at it with their level 1 heroes. It's really entertaining to watch level 1 fights because heroes are very... It varies a lot how much you commit. It's kind of like a game in itself.
BetBoom take the bounty and likely the kill on the FBZ. No. Onto the high ground he goes.
From that fight. He started with 1. I wonder how many sticks charges he had on that there after that long engagement. But yeah, it's fun to see these level 1 fights because it's kind of a mini game in itself. How heroes like weave in and out. Oh, Tim's will be. This is gonna hurt real bad. He might actually end up dying almost. He will die.
He can delay it enough that they miss
body
some
block.
XP.
SoNNeikO.
Yep, SoNNeikO will take it for himself. So BetBoom 3-1 advantage to start things out. The Hawk ends up missing 1 creep, but at least he gets the XP. They'll take that every time.
Such a good start for them. Especially, we can focus as much as we want on the gold, right? But the Hawk is going to be level 2 when he gets an opponent in this lane. That is so big for him and the Pugna here. He might want to go 1-1-0 build and actually just play super aggro because of the limited turnaround potential that Boom will have in this lane. Let's see if he skills that or the crit. Might opt for the crit because of lack of mana, but he is thinking about it. Hasn't skilled yet. He will take crit now, though.
Very exciting skill.
Yeah.
Talk there, Synderen. Thank you.
It is pretty crazy when you have these level 1 fights and one team comes out that significantly ahead, how big the experience advantage can be
for
in
sure.
the lane. Look how much they're just dominating the bottom. Tim's.
They got the ward as well, right? So that's a ton of XP.
Did they get that one?
Yeah.
So it wasn't denied.
They were trying to deny it, right? Wait, that was Boom's
Boom got
ward?
the D ward first.
Okay, maybe I saw that
I think they
wrong.
denied their own. Either way.
But talk to me about Tusk versus Lesh mid and how this works. Because I have no freaking clue.
I would imagine Lesh is very happy in this lane. The thing you want to avoid is throwing mana out of the window, trying to hit split earths that aren't going to land, or getting snowball countered. But you are ranged against melee hero, and you're a ranged hero that's very oppressive in the lane. So I think Tusk should not be having a lot of fun here overall. And so far, that is the case. Larl, complete contrast to last game, is now ahead against Yopaj, both based on the matchup and the first blood, or, well, the kill and assist. Was he the one to get the overall first kill? No, that was Mirana. He got the second one.
So you can dodge Split Earth, but I feel like it's kind of hard because Split Earth can just be faked out and you can kind of force them to use Snowball.
Nice deny there on Larl on the second water rune.
Yeah, this is going to be... We'll come back to this lane as the levels get increased here, but Jackie obviously died early on before the lane stage even started, but he's going to be coupled up with Skem. So DP, Terrorblade versus Mars and Mirana. And then in the bot lane, the one lane we haven't really talked about is the Burrow Strike is there. SoNNeikO trying to get saved by Daxak. But the Inkswell connects. SoNNeikO looks like he's going to limp away, and FBZ just getting right-click down. And SoNNeikO gets credit for that one. So yet another kill for BetBoom.
Right, SoNNeikO opting to start with that null. So has those extra stats on the Pugna over branches or whatever. He's opting to go that route. The mana region is really nice on Pugna for sure in a lane like this. 4-1 the score. This bottom lane is actually going to get really tricky, I think, for Boom. If Daxak keeps building his advantage and gets like treads plus, I don't know if he wants to get a bracer, if he wants to, immediately start building in for an armlet, something bigger. But he is almost level 4 against a level 2 Sand King. Obviously, a lot of the experience there is sitting on Tim's, but Sand King, when behind in lane, is sometimes just a feeding machine. You got to be really careful, because compared to some other offlaners, a lot of the time you need to expose yourself to get CS, right? Like, you're a melee hero, you need to go in and place the Sandstorm. You're not very quick. He's got 310 move speed with a Windlace. Failing the pull here as well for FBZ, not good.
Now Larl wants to try to find a 4-minute rune. Yopaj is here, though. And with the coupling of Skem, okay, they're actually going to turn this around with the rotation from SoNNeikO. Yopaj goes down. My goodness, that was a very surprising turnaround, but BetBoom again getting the better of every exchange so far, it feels like. They do get the water rune, though. It's important.
Well, it's something. But yeah, all 3 lanes looking very BetBoomy right now.
BetBoomy.
Yeah. There's even a huge wave coming into Notice top as well. So he's ahead on net worth against the Terrorblade, and he has 7 unclaimed creeps here, I think, if not more. As we already covered, Mirana got first blood, so she's very happy. Yeah, this is the makings of a very different game than game number 1. Unless it's the same game, but with the sides flipped, which could also very well happen. Because this time around, Boom doesn't have the same kind of everything goes skirmishy lineup, right? Death Prophet doesn't offer the same as they got last game out of the Grimstroke
Hey, did
Mirana
we mention that, did Boom have last pick both games? Isn't that right? Bloodseeker was last pick and this time it was Tusk, right?
I think you're right.
Which is strange, as we have the initiation onto SoNNeikO. Inkswell is going to be used to stun out the CK.
Oh, he's so strong, though.
Not enough damage for Daxak to actually find the kill on the Grimstroke, but he gets the courier instead. But yeah, this CK is basically unkillable right now, and he should be able to free farm pretty easily. And the question is, can he force FBZ out of lane?
That's the sentry from SoNNeikO. This is going to hurt.
Another blast. There's the damage from Daxak again. Burrow keeps FBZ safe, but he has taken heavy damage.
I really like FBZ going Tranquil Boots here, actually. I think it's a pretty uncommon thing lately for Sand Kings to do. A lot of the time they will go either Vanguard or Travels with Brown Boots, Dagger first. But this game, he just feels like he has to have that regen to lane. So
yeah,
FBZ opting for that. He's in trouble again, though. Has to burrow again. Well,
Yopaj at least gets a bounty rune, and SoNNeikO will be the consolation kill potentially. Is the TP faster than the Inkswell? Yes, indeed. Meanwhile, you see that Skem is being taken out. Tried to get that. Actually, I think he did get the rune, so the death was basically to prevent Larl from getting the haste. I think it was a haste, at least.
Yeah, he denied a haste. I honestly, I feel like that's kind of worth it, to be honest, to lose your 5 with 700 net worth for that. Skem has literally nothing.
Wow.
The Hawk is going to solo FBZ.
Yep, that's a tough one. Tips come out. Not toxic tips, of course. That is their own team.
Cheering for themselves. I like it.
Yeah.
Raise morale. You had a hard game 1. Reset it right back.
That's another thing that, I mean, we talk about stuff like this from time to time, but this is where traditional sports kind of do a better job than esports right now of talking about like the mental advantage from game to game and how, like, we don't give teams enough credit for bouncing back from like just, I mean, not saying that game 1 was a devastating loss by any means, but just being able to bounce back from something that maybe you weren't expecting or from a tough loss.
Yeah.
But so far, so good for BetBoom.
It's
and again,
an important
this is a team
quality.
we have very little information on other than SoNNeikO.
It's a mandatory quality if you want to win tournaments. It's very rare that you have tournament runs where you don't get some sort of, hit some sort of, what's it called, bump in the road along the way. Like your strategy might get figured out. Maybe the enemy team has some sort of pocket strat that you're not prepared for.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to keep cool and reset after losses. And in these 2-game series as well, a 1-1 result against Boom for BetBoom, I think they take that. Like, this is one of their strongest opponents on paper in this group. So if they can get ahead in this game and build that into a victory and take a draw, I think that's I would say on paper just satisfying.
Indeed.
So looking very good right now. Obviously, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. It's a 3K lead minute 8.
Game's not over, Synderen. For God's sake, why did you say it was over? Jesus. One thing we didn't really talk about is the matchup of Lesh versus TB. I assume this is very Lesh favored towards like the mid game.
It has phases. So Lesh is very strong until Terrorblade gets specific big items. When TB gets too many stats, it can get overwhelming. When he has like Scotty and he's playing in meta form and he's hitting, Lesh has to yield in fights generally and get out because he can't withstand the damage. But early on, when you have Pulse Nova running and you cast a Lightning Storm and an Edict, you just kill all Terrorblade's illusions and he has to give up to you. So
right.
Uh-oh, SoNNeikO, he's probably dead here.
Looks to be dead, although Larl's coming in. Has that Pulse Nova going. They're going to lose their support. But if they get Yopaj in turn, this is a big, big trade that BetBoom will take every single time.
And they even force the Glyph here with the Edict as well. Nice from Larl to immediately connect that on the tier 1.
So looking at the build from Notice, he's going for essentially the same thing, right? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I thought he was going Armlet. Maybe not. But
no, never mind.
I think this game would have been better to go Armlet because you're ahead, right? That feels like a win more item versus like the Blink Dagger, which
Lesh just
might not pay off
loves
initially.
playing with Blink Initiators, right? It's
That's
just
true.
so damn good if somebody else can set you up. So, I mean, I personally think this game is as good as the last one, but like you said, for different reason, right? In the last game, it felt like it was out of necessity. In this game, it just empowers their lineup so much to have a Blink Initiator go first. So, damn.
FBZ on the other side is quite far away from getting his Blink there, but there's a nice Ancient camp here for him.
Yeah, and farm that with Epicenter. Throwing all his
gold he
mana
gets
here.
from this. He had like 600.
It's like a 700 pick-me-up-ish here.
Right, not bad, not bad. So
It's good. It'll
looking at the
help.
net worth, he is still quite far behind Noticed. Which, I mean, we could just look at the net worth and clearly see that BetBoom won every single lane.
Yeah. Just hands down. And no lane was close either. That's the thing. Like, it was just... Okay, maybe top wasn't a total stomp, but definitely very favored for them. And I also think on paper this time around, they managed to draft themselves better lanes, right? They get this Leshrac matchup against Tusk, which is great. The CK Pugna lane is very strong early on. And Mars Mirana no different, right? So they put their focus slightly differently in the draft here, and it's really paid off so far compared to game number 1.
And SoNNeikO sacrificing himself again, although Mars is coming. Snowball is there, but SoNNeikO keeping himself alive thanks to the Decrepify. Finally goes down. But again, if they get this trade onto Yopaj, they will take this. This is amazing for BetBoom. They keep losing their position 5, but keep killing the position 2.
Yeah, maybe a slight over-rotation here, bringing this many heroes, but I think it's understandable.
Oh, I missed one kill, Synderen.
Oh, Daxak solo killing Tims.
That's my first kill that I've lost. Rip. Rip my streak.
I'm proud of you. It was a good run.
Thank you.
It lasted 1 game.
Hey, that's pretty good for a play-by-play cast.
Not wrong.
FBZ. He's actually pretty close to his Blink Dagger
I thought it was
now.
going to be a replay that showed the killing miss. I was like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
no,
that would have been perfect. As we can see the replay here.
Yeah. So again, and you see the Mirana rotation might not be necessary for this, so perhaps you could have been a little bit more efficient, but like you say, the big thing, killing off Yopaj again and taking no unnecessary damage on that bottom tier 1. Just keep that control. Just like Boom did against you in game number 1. You don't want to give them space. You don't need to. You're the stronger lineup right now for protecting, so.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And BetBoom now have control of Boom's jungle. They de-ward the cliff there. Blink Dagger, though, online for FBZ, so he's not going to want to show this and expect a smoke to come shortly after.
Maybe Skem's mouse has some sort of double-click issue, because last game he had 2 wind laces, and this game he has 2 fluffy hats. I'll say the wind laces was not on purpose, because that doesn't work. But this one, I don't know if he meant to buy 2 hats before he gets boots. Maybe it is on purpose. Like, you are still, you know, pretty fast with Exorcism, but...
It is quite the fashion statement,
It
I
is.
agree.
Yeah, well, if any hero wears 2 hats, it would be the crazy ghost lady, wouldn't it?
Well, technically, every hero has many hats if you consider hats cosmetics. Get wrecked.
Except one hero that doesn't have cosmetics, Primal Beast.
That's true. He doesn't need them. He's just too good.
He's not in captain's mode, and he got nerfed to the ground, so probably not going to sell very many hats, is he now?
That's true. I mean, that's the best time to sell hats is when they're really broken at the start. What is Valve thinking? Why don't they sell them?
Oh, we're going to try to brute force this bottom tower for Boom, but I love that they want to defend this.
This will be a big kill onto Jackie if they can find it, but there's a snowball to keep him alive a little bit longer. FBZ with the nice epicenter to follow. Do you have the Sunder? No. That is a dead Terrorblade. Yopaj gets stunned from afar, sets up the split earth, and yet another death for him. Tim's does get out, but these are just the supports we're talking about because the position 1 and 2 for Boom are donezo.
I'd love a replay of this one because there's a couple of things that go really... First of all, I love BetBoom's choice of defending this. I think a lot of the time teams give up this tower too easily, but in this game they have the composition and they have the power level right now to hold this. And if Death Prophet and Terrorblade don't get to take this bottom tower, they lose a big portion of their purpose in the game. So very good. You're going to see on the replay here. So actually, what Boom do really well here, they get this... They get the Terrorblade out of trouble. They get a good Sandstorm, but that, or Burrow Strike rather, that arrow changes everything. He was walking in for a full HP Sunder on Jack and gets that arrow straight to the face from Forcemajor, and that's the end of the fight. If the Sunder comes out, this could be a totally different story, but Clutch with that TP in from Mirana really seals the deal there and holds that tower.
Tim's
Tim's dead again. Did you catch that one?
I did, of course. I was following it the whole time, just listening to you drone on about nothing. While I was getting the important stuff on camera, Synderen.
Uh-oh, FBZ's dead.
Dusted and dead. Skem looks to be next. He gets off the Spirit Siphon. Split Earth will miss, but they have everybody here, essentially. Actually going to focus on Yopaj instead. This will be a much bigger kill. Gets off the Snowball to buy him a little bit of space, but there's the Crep combo with the Split Earth and the Pulse Nova. So another huge kill for BetBoom as they are starting to snowball their way to game number 2 advantage.
Yeah,
no pun intended, because they don't have Snowball on their team. So.
Nice play call there to just let DP be. Like, get the bigger kill, right?
That's what I'm surprised by, that DP actually ran towards Tusk instead of just kind of sacking her life.
In hindsight, they could have just sacrificed the DP for sure, but they're going to lose the tower as well. 8,000 lead minute 15. You thought game 1 was one-sided? Look at this one.
Last game was I would say, it was just a normal shellacking. This one is in the Gaben tier, I think.
It is a big-ass beatdown, and I think if you're Boom now, you have to somehow try to find a fight where you get maximum value out of Exorcism, but your DP is level 6, 15 minutes in with no items, no boots even. Terrorblade cannot realistically fight very well.
All right. Nice dodge on the spear. Had his arena up, but...
Yeah.
Not going for it there.
It's tough because I think from Boom's lineup's perspective, playing defense is very difficult. FBZ could find something.
Inks well, okay. Looks like they'll find a kill on Forcemajor.
That'll do. But they used Exo. If they don't get anything with this, there's like a 2-minute downtime that BetBoom just dwarf them. They're gonna smoke. That was under a ward though. It was spotted.
Unfortunate for them. Scan is, I think that was a scan from, actually I'm not sure. I think that was a Boom scan.
Despite that smoke, he's still stuck around the Ancients for a little bit. And he actually feels confident to just stay there. FBZ gets out.
And so catching up on some item progressions, Larl on the Goat, aka Leshrac, has the Sange going for Kaya Sange and has the Hood as well. As they are smoked up, looking for a value kill. Get a sentry there and a ward on the cliff. So this is going to set up the Roche, so at least they have vision if Boom try to contest in any way.
Yeah, love the play call. They know there's no Exo. So just go for it. Terrorblade is also showing bottom with these illusions. He can't have summoned these from that far away, and now the real hero's there too, so this is just a freebie. There is no way Boom can test this.
And one of the best Aegis carriers in the game. I think maybe number 2 after Storm, I want to say, is Lesh.
He's very high up there.
Should make a tier list on that someday, as Larl will grab it. And you can see Notice trying to find somebody. FBZ.
He might find the Grim.
FBZ.
Arrow!
Looks like they're both fine. No need to get excited, Synderen.
No, take it easy.
Stop screaming.
Relax.
Please keep your voice down. And Tier 1 tower still standing in the bot lane, and we can see that BetBoom will likely just give this up, but we have the vision and Boom don't really.
Yeah, they're going to instead set up for a top tier 2 push here with their Aegis on Lesh. I think it's solid, and they might even find a flank here. Oh, actually, Larl.
Inkswell. Oh, they're actually playing it very passive.
Yeah, they're scared of this fight. I mean, if you commit on the Lesh there, you just lose this fight horribly, right? He has Aegis. You can't go for that kill and not get traded off.
Indeed, Aegis advantage, pretty big deal. Yopaj takes care of the wave in the mid.
Dire's top
Closing in on
He-
BKB.
Yeah, I was gonna mention. So first item BKB feels like one of those necessities, as we brought up
Radiant's
before.
bottom tower is under attack.
The question is,
Yeah.
what will he go for after that, if they even get the chance? Because this lead is just growing now.
And I think ideally you want to go Ags, right? You just can't in this game. I think you have to be able to stand and deliver in fights and be on the front line with tag team for your Terrorblade to find kills. So I think it's the right itemization for this game. It's just a bit worrisome that when you look at what the Radiant team has against that playstyle on Tusk with both Decrep as well as Mars' Arena to zone off heroes,
Ooh.
Dire's
it's
top
difficult.
tower is under attack.
They're going to press the issue. I like it. Like, why not? You're
Yeah.
in such a commanding lead.
And you have Diabolic Edict, you have Nether Blast from SoNNeikO, Daxak doesn't even have to bother really hitting the tower himself.
And there comes the Nether Ward, so Sand King has to be very careful. He can't epi here. He's even in this position with the nerfed Nether Ward by 200 range, he's still too close. They're just losing a Rax.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think they can defend this. I think they have to give this up and maybe try to wait out the Aegis. But I mean, having said that, it's still 2.5 minutes to go.
they're gonna go for late mid.
Yeah, I don't think anything's gonna stop. I mean, there is a tier 2 tower, so it's gonna be delayed a bit. I think it's the right call to give this Rax up. The question is, what are you waiting for? Like, is there a specific item that now that the BKB's on for Yopaj, that's obviously nice. Is there another item, like especially for the TB? He has Dragonlance Yasha.
Yeah,
right now.
they're maybe trying to stall out for Jack to
Yep,
also
Skem
get-
is dead. They're just gonna leave him.
I don't know if they're trying to stall out for the next line of BKBs as well. Like, Sand King and Terrorblade both have it queued up, but I don't know if you can buy this much time.
Look at
Terrorblade
wait.
changed his mind. He's going Sky. Oh, he has it. Oh,
He
he,
must
has
have
his.
it coming,
Okay, so
yeah.
Sand King is 2k away.
I don't think you can wait for that one.
Probably not. But yeah, the Terrorblade one is big. This definitely gives them a better opportunity. But the fact of the matter is still, if Jack gets caught by literally anything, he's just dead unless he gets snowball saved. Like, he has 1200 health.
Yeah, but they're delaying this. I mean, they continue to kill these waves. You can see the backdoor protections there.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you just wait out this minute and a half, with the BKB not being shown yet, as I say that he is now showing it for the
I'm
Terrorblade.
surprised BetBoom don't commit with this siege creep, actually. They still had a minute and a half on Aegis. So this would have been a moment to fight, I think.
Larl
Larl,
showing
yeah.
himself. Phantasms popped. Yeah, it looks like they might just... This feels like delay tactics right now for Boom, which is exactly what they need to do. Just taking out the waves, just being an annoying presence. But
Playing Lesh with Pugna is so good. You just keep getting mana funneled into you for free.
Yeah, that
It's
is nice.
Incredible.
But still, just a minute to go. So, I mean, they've waited this long, and they only lost that one Rax.
Did you notice Larl's skill build, by the way? I don't know how common this is for Leshes to do, but he's prioritizing attribute bonus over Lightning Storm.
Yeah, Lightning Storm's worthless, let's be real.
It scales pretty well. Also against Terrorblade.
Because you
but
have to cast it.
He's opting to go
It's
the tanky route.
It's very clunky.
Yopaj is in trouble again.
Yep. Yopaj has his BKB, but the split earth to
Arrow.
start it out. Arrow, not even needed.
Is under attack.
Down goes the Tusk. I mean, I've seen this. I'm actually surprised he even took one in this, if you're going to go for this build. Is this like a Blink Dagger cancel, maybe?
I think he used it in lane as well, right?
Okay. Oh, boy. All right,
You generally
second
get
kill.
1 point in Lightning Storm in lane so that you have that slow to set up your split earth. But I would say most of the time Leshracs do level it over stats. But I think he just wants to be so beefy that he can stand up to the Terrorblade. Yeah, but Lightning Storm doesn't skill that poorly. Like it's still a good spell when it's maxed out. 4-second cooldown. You get a lot more slow and a lot more bounces against Terrorblade illusions.
Well, what I'm saying, other than the stat thing, which I guess I understand to a degree, it is 2 stats, it's not that much, but the fact that I think he values the movement, being able to not have to cast anything other than Split Earth.
Yeah,
Like,
that's fair.
like,
It's
it
definitely
takes
a factor.
forever to cast anything on this hero other than Diabolic and his ult.
You do have some pretty good setups, right? So it's not like you
Stop
have to be on
questioning
your
it,
feet all the
Synderen.
time.
Just stop questioning it, please.
It is the perfect build.
That's right.
I wasn't criticizing it, to be fair, though. I think it's just different. Like I think it's a good idea, this game. So I definitely don't mind it at
Stop
all.
hating on everybody.
I hate only you.
That's true, actually.
If you would have gone for this build, I would have berated you. But it's Larl, so he knows what he's doing.
Well, I think I'm safe for being from your flame, I
English,
should say.
please.
Let me rephrase this. Let me just start. Let's rewind a bit. I'm safe from your flame because you didn't even flame Slacks for getting 5 boots in a game when we played with him.
That's because I fear for my life. That's something else.
That's true.
Have you seen that guy?
He is demonic. As we have a smoked out from Boom, knowing that this Aegis is gone, this could be.
I think I was very passive aggressive about it actually when I was talking to him. Like, oh, you have 5 boots. That's very good.
That doesn't even sound passive aggressive.
Oh,
that sounds very positive actually.
Well, okay.
All right, Hood popped prematurely from Larl. He feels this coming. Epicenter is coming as well. Pops the BKB.
Oh.
Inside the Mars arena. Huge rebuke. 2 dead right off the bat for Boom. Jackie attempting to get out. Not going to happen. Triple kill for Daxak.
See you later. That was so premeditated from BetBoom. They knew exactly what they were trying to do there. They pre-hood, like you said. The moment they connect on Larl, SoNNeikO is in range for the Decrepify. They can't get the burst off. He BKB's 4-man arena fight over. Like, they just lost that moment instantly. And this is going to transition into a tier 2 tower. Wonder if they think about high ground. Like, Phantasm has expired and the heroes are respawning, but
they push fast.
They're not really scared here with these 2 heroes on the sidelines. Just Sand being dead is enough that Larl is safe. And this will, the bare minimum, be the tower.
Right, they know that meta is down as well.
Enough.
That's a pretty big spell to be down.
That is fair.
I don't see them stopping here. Especially when there's not like some crazy ags on Tusk where he's kicking you in the fountain.
The Hawk has his ult again in 15 seconds. The spell has much lower cooldown than it used to. CK, probably the biggest part of his comeback as a meta hero is the lower cooldown on Phantasm. Because it was always a hero with such a major trade-off, right? You would use Phantasm, and it would be down for over 2 minutes back in the day, and you were just exploitable for so much longer.
Yeah.
And now you just feel like you're ready to go again. Like, they just fought, and he has his best spell ready, and it's time to rock and roll mid. 20k lead.
Whew. Shellacking.
Yep. Oh,
Skem is dead.
Okay.
Goodbye. Yopaj can't do anything but watch his DP die. When an undead creature dies again, I don't know what that means. Are they undeaded? Synderen? Do you have a term for this? Is there lore?
Ask Slax, he knows this stuff.
Okay. So a mid-rax in favor of BetBoom again.
I think I know the answer. You're undead squared.
Undead squared.
All right, this tower's gone as well. Bottom tier 2 is claimed, and Jack actually almost gets spotted there by Force. If he could have stopped a Terrorblade TP with an arrow, that would just be game over, right? Like, that 4v4 in the Dire base is never being won by Boom. But he will not be found by Mirana, and will get back as a result. It is still, according to Gabe, 99% Radiant victory currently, so needs an absolutely heroic combat that we will sing songs about for years to come.
The day that Terrorblade won, not Arteezy's Terrorblade, of course, but anyone else's Terrorblade. 22k lead for BetBoom, and yeah, they're just going to wait for the next Roche, which is now up. Shard is online, and I would expect the Lesh to take this because CK and Mars already have theirs. I would love to see some Pugna short action. You know me.
You love that because you love bad things in Dota. Like,
no, that's a bad way to put it. I like underused things because occasionally they end up being good and nobody knew about them. That's not one of them, though. It's terrible.
It's definitely not high up on my list of shards. Let's put it that way.
Conceptually, it's one of the cooler shards, which is why I like it.
The cast range on Netherward is kind of cool, but yeah, the draining your own ward is it has situational uses. I guess in this game he could do that to kill Terrorblade Illus, right?
Yeah.
Does it work on illusions? If it does, this is one of the better cases for it, and because of that, they still put it on Lesh. So, you know, maybe not.
It says all enemy heroes.
Yeah, I think
so
I think it also targets illusions.
Okay.
If it does, that's kind of nifty against Terrorblade in particular.
Quite nifty, huh? Mm-hmm. Neat. All right, we see the split Earth shard come out to basically be used as protection. Yeah, they get a little bit of vision here. There's the Walrus Punch onto Larl, but
You can see the heals. He still has his BKB. He still has his Aegis. Notice comes in with the BKB and the Mars Arena as well. They do get the Aegis at the very least, and it's a trade for the DP. But the double kill for Daxak already starts us out in favor of BetBoom. And this is likely to be the GG push for them in game number 2. Which, like you said, they should be happy with this result going into this because Boom, one of the favorite teams at this major as a whole.
Yep, I would definitely say so.
Larl has to be a little bit careful now. Still has his BKB, but no Aegis to work with. Jackie gets brought back in. Nice. Split Earth. Miss. Sorry, I meant to say nice snowball save. It doesn't matter. The GGs are called for God's sake. This game was over for quite a while. This was a Gaben